This video is about the world align nodes in Unreal Engine materials and texturing objects without unwrapping them. So let's do it. The project file of this video is available on my Patreon, the link is in the description. As we saw in the world position video, we can use this node to project textures along different axes, and it doesn't rely on the UV information of the mesh. Each one of these is a planar projection. This is the projection along the x-axis, this is along the y-axis, and this one is along the z-axis. We can then combine these three planar projections together to texture objects. That's where the name triplanar comes from. Now in this video, I'm not gonna go into creating a triplanar material. I'll do that in a separate video. Unreal Engine has some pre-made material functions we can use to achieve this effect. Right-click in the material graph and search for world aligned. Quite a few nodes will pop up. These are the two we use most of the time: world align texture and world align normal. These are the nodes I'm gonna go over in this video. We can use world align texture with any texture except normal maps. Normal textures are a little bit different. We'll get to that later in the video. Let's double click and open the function. The world position node is projected in the X, the Y and the Z axis. Then they are combined together using the lerp node. It has three outputs, one for the projection in the z-axis, one for the combined projection of the x and the y-axis, and one for all the projections combined together. The alpha for the lerps is being driven from the vertex normal node. I've made videos about all of these nodes. Check out the material nodes playlist on my channel. Let's get back to the material. So everything is pretty much ready. We just need to plug in some parameters and the material works. First we need a texture object. So let's right click and add a texture object. Convert it to parameter and name it base color. Connect it like this. We could also add a texture from the content browser. Right click on it and convert it to texture object, and then convert that into a parameter. For the texture size, we can use a vector 3 to control the size of each projection separately, but I like to control them all together, so I'll add a parameter and name it texture size. Set the default value 100 and connect it. The default world position and world space normal are okay, so we don't need to connect anything to them. Export float 4 is for when we want to use the alpha channel of the textures. In that case, we should add a static bool, connect it to it, and enable it. Let's delete that for now. We can use the last input to control the smoothness of the transition between the different projections. Let's add a parameter and connect it like this. The default value should be 1. Connect the XYZ output to the base color. Now if I set it to a high value like 1000, we can see the seam between the different projections. Let's change the texture to better see it. For example, if I set it to this cobblestone, we can see it better. This is before and this is after. If a packed texture like this quicksell texture is connected to the function, we can use a component mask node and select which channel to use. Or we can add a split components node, connect it like this, and connect the channels as we want. In the case of these quicksell textures, the R channel is ambient occlusion, the G channel is roughness, and the B channel is for height texture or displacement. Next I'll go over the world align normal function, but before getting to that, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also join our communities on Telegram, Discord and Facebook. You can ask questions or answer them, share your work in progress and more. If you are interested in supporting the channel and downloading the project file for this video, check out my Patreon. The links are in the description. In Unreal Engine, normal textures are calculated in the tangent space. That's why they need a little more work to look correct. Let's open the function. The world position node outputs data in world space, so when using it with normal textures, we should first transform the data from tangent space to world space, do the extra calculations, and then transform them back from world space to tangent space. I'm not gonna get into the math, but that's the whole gist of it. Let's assign a normal texture object to it, add a parameter to control the size, set the default value to 100 and connect it like this. Then connect the XYZ texture output to the normal input here. Use high quality normals is enabled by default. If we connect a static bool to it, we can see the difference. Disabled, enabled, disabled, enabled. It adds around 20 instructions to the material but improves the quality, so I recommend leaving it enabled. Projection transition contrast controls the smoothness just like the previous node, and we don't need to connect anything to normal and volt position. Their default value is fine. Volt space is false by default. If we enable it, the function outputs the normal in volt space instead of tangent space. By default, Unreal's materials use tangent space normals. In the details, if we search for normal, we can see that tangent space normal is enabled. If for any reason we want the material to use volt space normal, we can disable the tangent space here, connect the static bool to the volt space input here, and enable it. But mostly we use the tangent space normal and leave the volt space normal alone. Ideally, to use this function, we only need to connect a texture and a parameter to control its size. Using these functions makes the material more expensive. That's because we're using each texture 3 times. It means that with each texture sample, we're getting 3 texture lookups. So in a standard material using albedo, normal and packed textures, we'll get 9 texture lookups, which is a lot. They also increase the number of shader instructions. That's why using these functions makes the material more expensive. Keep these in mind when using them. Using these functions with textures that have some kind of pattern or line may not look good, so they are better to use with textures that the overlap is not obvious, like grass or rock. This issue is mostly obvious on objects that have curves, so most of the time it's okay to use pattern textures with objects like floors, ceiling, or straight walls. However, if the object has curves, it's better to use textures without patterns. If the object needs a special type of material or needs something like a logo or mark or something, we should go with manual unwrapping. When we transform the mesh, the texture moves on the object. That's because the texture is already projected in the world and the object is just receiving it and moving through it. We can make it object based though. That's what I'll cover in the next video. Let's go over an example to better understand where we can use these nodes. This Buddha sculpture isn't unwrapped. If I assign this Quixel material to it, it just breaks. In some cases, we may need to spend time and unwrap the model, but not here. This is a simple material I've created with the world align nodes. There's nothing special about it, just 3 texture object parameters and a parameter to control the size. In the details, let's search for nanite. I've enabled nanite tessellation and used with nanite. If you don't know how to enable nanite tessellation for the project, watch this video. So let's close it, create a material instance and open it. Let's assign the same textures to the material and assign the material to the mesh. And now as you can see, it's textured correctly. We can easily change the size and it conforms to the mesh. Even the displacement doesn't create any seams. Let's set the texture size to 150 and increase the displacement magnitude so we better see it. 10 is good. The only thing that may be of concern here is that when we transform the mesh, the texture is still projected in world space. But there's a way to make it work in local space, and that's what I'm gonna do in the next video, which I'll put up here as soon as I upload it. So click here for more Unreal stuff, and thank you so much for watching. Like this video, subscribe, and join our communities on Telegram, Discord and Facebook. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. So, see you in the next one.